How big is China? Part 1. Many people have said how big China is, but what does it really mean? Well, in terms of landmass, it is the third largest country in the world, after Russia and Canada, and just slightly larger than the US, being fourth, with well over 9 million square km or 3.5 million square miles. It is more than 2 times the total size of 27 member states of the European Union. It has 4 provinces, regions: Tibet, Qinghai, Inner Mongolia, and Xinjiang, each larger than France, the largest member state in the European Union. Xinjiang alone, the most eastern region of China, is itself 2.5 times the size of France. China has 3 of the longest rivers in the world. All 3 of these originate from its highest mountain ranges in Tibet. 2/3 of China is mountainous, stretching from Tibet in the southwest to Inner Mongolia in the northeast, and from central China to Xinjiang in the west. It also has several deserts. The Taklamakan is the hottest desert in the world. The vastness of its landmass imposes a variety of climatic conditions and stunning landscapes worthy for any traveler to visit. How big is China? PT2. Population. Everyone knows China has the largest population in the world after India with 1.3 billion and the United States with 332 million. But what does having 1.4 billion people in a country mean? It's 1 billion for 100 million. 1 billion has 9 zeros. I mentioned earlier how big is China. PT2, that China is more than 2 times the size of the European Union. Well, its population is more than 3 times the total population of the 27 EU member states. Although China is slightly larger than the US by roughly 100,000 square miles, it has 4 times the population. To date, 3 of the top 10 largest cities in the world are located in China, that is Chongqing, Shanghai, and Beijing. There are nearly 50 cities with more than 7 million. Of these, 13 cities have more than 10 million people. India, with comparable total population of 1.3 billion population, only have 3 cities with more than 5 million, and 2 of these with more than 10 million, that is Mumbai and Delhi. USA has 7 cities with more than 7 million people, and only 2 of these have over 10 million, that is New York and Los Angeles. In Europe, only Moscow has just over 10 million and London nearly 9 million population. Apart from St. Petersburg in Russia, no other city in Europe come close to have 5 million population. Of course, other data, such as land area, population density, and GDP need to be considered for fair comparison. Development is going on rapidly in each country. Data from various sources varies and may be outdated as soon as after this video is published. These data could only be an estimate to give a rough illustration of how big China is in comparison to other areas in the world, excluding the 2 small special administrative areas of Macau and Hong Kong, as well as Taiwan. It has 27 provinces on the mainland, and nearly half of these each has population greater than France, the second most populated country in Europe. Apart from Macau, the least populated region on China mainland, Tibet, has more people than each of the 7 smallest EU member states. Is having such large population significant? Please follow me in later episodes. How big is China? Part 2. Climate. China is 5,000 kilometers from east coast to west into Central Asia, and 5,500 kilometers from north to south. The vastness of its landmass provides the most diverse climates few countries in the world have. Its climatic conditions ranges from subarctic in the north, temperate in the middle, and tropical and subtropical in the south. It also has alpine climate in the high altitudes in Tibet. China's land area is 34% pastures, 14% forests, 58% mountains, and 28% deserts. Approximately 94% of the population lives in eastern fertile plains, which is 40% of the country, while only 6% lives west of the country, where it is more mountainous, and deserts in the north and northwest. China has 8 deserts covering 600,000 square kilometers, which is 28% land area in the north and northwest of the country, made up of dry arid land with and without shifting sand dunes. Several megawatt solar panel farms has been built to become the world leader in solar energy. It is also world leader in wind farms in the deserts and offshore in the east coast. Nearly 73,000 square miles of deserts have been reclaimed with forests and grasslands. in the last 10 years to combat progressive annual desertification of 1,000 square miles of land. Floods have perpetually been a problem, killing millions throughout the centuries in the populated, fertile plains, served by the Yangtze and Yellow rivers, changing their courses, finding their ways to the sea. They have facilitated the building of hydropower dams and the development of underground tunnels for flood control. The South to North Water Diversion Project has cost over 500 billion yuan to divert water resources from the rich southern plains to the dry north and northwestern regions. The humid southern provinces of Yunnan, Guangzhou, Guangxi, and Fujian, lushed with tropical vegetations, are subject to heavy rainfalls and occasional typhoons. Subarctic climate in the northwestern regions and the high altitudes in the southeastern Tibetan Plateau provide some of the most challenging livelihoods for the local ethnic minorities, but also the most scenic experiences for the adventurers. Future developments of winter resorts in the northwest will seriously challenge those in the west.